appreciate the fact you're holding up those redacted documents. Remind me an awful lot of the last 50 pages of Dr. Fauci's emails. Dr. Fauci's not a sovereign. He doesn't work for a sovereign nation. He works for us. And yet HHS is delivering, that's their responsiveness to us in terms of that kind of redaction. So just try and make that point again. We'll be writing a strong request, hopefully with you signing on, to shake those loose from the agencies. I'd like to go through and have each one of you witnesses describe exactly what your attorneys are telling you the legal jeopardy is within Saudi Arabia for your employees that work there. Start with you, Mr. Lesser.
Thank you for that question, Senator. There's been multiple litigation efforts going on, and we've received strong letters from the PIF and from the Saudi courts saying that our staff and our firm is criminally exposed if we were to share documents that they haven't approved. And so we have contested that litigation multiple times to try to get permission to produce as much as possible in response to the subpoena. But we do feel at substantial risk criminally, not just for the firm, but for our staff. And that's what our lawyers have advised us, and we feel we have to take that incredibly seriously.
So have they specifically pointed out specific employees who would be found legally liable? I mean, would that be the top manager, or would it be individuals that would literally go into the files and make file copies, or any and all of the above?
Senator, I genuinely don't know. I don't think specific individuals have been singled out, but the fact that individuals would be at legal risk has been clearly stated to us.
Mr. Sternfels.
Well, thank you, Senator. And I'd start with, I'm not a lawyer, and I'm certainly not expert in Saudi law, but I'll tell you what I understand. An injunction has been filed by the PIF against us. We're vigorously opposing that injunction. And from what I understand, the penalties for that injunction are significant civil and criminal penalties. And we have 400 folks in Saudi, and that includes 9 Americans.
Would the Saudi citizens that work for you be under a higher level of legal scrutiny than, let's say, the American citizens? Would they be higher risk because they're Saudi citizens and potentially more subject to the court dictates?
Senator, I don't know. From what I understand, this has implications for potentially all of our folks.
Mr. Klein, what are you aware of in terms of what your legal counsel may be telling you in terms of the jeopardy of your employees in Saudi Arabia?
Ranking Member, thank you. The PIF has expressed to our firm and to others what they believe is their right as a sovereign to go to court to preserve their interests, and that they have a right not simply based upon the contracts that we have signed, but a right to certain protections under sovereign law as Saudis. What the court order that we received states is that if we are to provide, either in a written form or in this forum, information that were to breach the specific injunction, we could be held criminally liable. And that criminal liability, as I understand it, is as much as 20 years imprisonment as well as monetary fines. It is not defined as to which individuals. It is addressed directly to the firm.
Mr. Curie, what does your counsel tell you?
Thank you, Senator. I think first point principle is I don't think we get there. I think we work through and fully satisfy the subcommittee in terms of the subpoena. And there'll be an accelerated production of documents to show the good faith efforts are delivering the returns. Secondly, from a legal perspective, U.S. counsel has shared it's just a very complex, almost unprecedented situation. Our Saudi counsel has suggested there's a range of potential challenges, but it is really hard to predict at this juncture, Senator.
So when you go to court and challenge what I guess you're challenging the PIF, or are you actually challenging the Saudi government? Again, you say you are fighting off these injunctions. Who are you fighting in this case? The Saudi government or the Public Investment Fund? Mr. Curie, I'll start with you.
Not an expert on Saudi law, Senator. My understanding is that it is against PIF.
Mr. Klein?
Senator, thank you. We have expressed to the PIF and to the court our full intention to comply, and we have sought relief with which to comply fully with this subpoena. I
Or
don't.
is this just basically in response to the lawsuit they've initiated against you?
It is both in a.
You haven't initiated your own counter lawsuit. This is just responding to the court proceeding.
Thank you, Senator. We have responded with our own direct filing, both seeking specific document relief and seeking to end this litigation. I can't.
Who initiated the litigation against you? Was that the Saudi government or was that the PIF?
As I understand it, Senator, it is the PIF, and they have invoked, again, as I understand it, without full expertise, certain of their laws regarding information that they have as a government.
Mr. Sternfels, the chairman put up a graphic there talking about that disclosure of this information may impact Saudi Arabian national security. Have they made that claim? Is there any justification for that claim as far as you're aware of? Have you pushed back against that?
Senator, as I had said, we are objecting to the injunction, and I actually can today talk about the work that we did do with the PIF as it relates to this matter, if that's of interest.
Okay. Mr. Lesser, as my time's running out here, just kind of describe what you've done pushing back against this injunction.
Sure, Senator. The PIF has sued us in Saudi court and been clear to us that if we were to share unapproved information, we would be violating Saudi law, and we have litigated this matter in Saudi court seeking permission to be able to produce under this subpoena. And that litigation is ongoing, and it was delayed several times, and we're continuing to pursue that vigorously in order to be able to produce materials for you.
So if I just may, you're obviously producing some documents, and you've been producing documents even after this injunction has been granted. Is it just a general type of injunction? Is it about specific information? I mean, what does the injunction cover? We'll start with you, Mr. Lesser.
We've asked to produce fully to comply with this subpoena, and only a portion of what we've asked to produce has been approved to produce. So the litigation is related to the remaining information that we would like to produce that we've been unable to do.
So it's a general injunction, and you're pushing back on kind of a case-by-case basis. Can we produce this? Can we produce that? Is that common with all four of you? Okay, I have no further questions, thanks.
Senator Butler.